Hi everyone, Fiona here, and in this video I thought I would share with you a little bit about my summer internship in a lot of my vlogs, which are on my personal channel, which I will post a link down below. I often show me about to going to my internship and when I'm coming back, so I thought I would explain a little bit about my summer internship here. For those who don't know, I'm a psychology major with an education minor in hopes of becoming a school counselor. One of my mom's clients works at a bee research place nearby, so she offered me a summer internship of working with bees, even though it is not something that I want to do in my future. But I decided to just go for it, and I knew that it was going to be a great learning experience. My first few days of the internship were really rough. First of all, I was doing something that was completely outside my comfort zone. I'm not a biology major and I haven't taken a Bible class since high school, so I didn't really have any background knowledge coming into this internship. Second, especially at the beginning, all of the regular workers were really stressed because they had a lot going on and they didn't really have a lot of time to explain how to do stuff. So basically, I had to learn on my own, and that was somewhat rough. But a huge shout out to all the other interns because they did a really great job of explaining how to do certain things to me. And lastly, it was just super hot outside, and getting used to being outside for long periods of time was definitely an adjustment. Usually every single day we did something different. As the summer progressed, I was doing some of the same activities several times, which definitely got easier every time I did them. Every morning I would go out with a few of the other interns to one of the sites where we had hives, and we would do mortality tests. Basically, for mortality tests, all we had to do was count how many dead bees were in the trap at each hive. At the beginning of the summer, when we had residue tunnels at some of the sites, we would also have to do flight intensity tests in addition to the mortality tests, which were just timing how many bees flew into a certain area for a certain amount of time. There were some days where I was doing CCAs, which I know stands for something like colony assessments. I forget what the other C means, but those are where the beekeepers look at each comb in a hive and determine how much of the percentage of it is pollen, nectar, has eggs, etc. My job was to sit in a lawn chair and record those percentages, which had to equal to 100. 2 of the days during the internship were application days, which meant we had to put on a certain application on the bees that were in the tunnels. One of the application days was actually my second day of work, and that was probably the most stressful day because no one had any idea what they were doing, so no one could explain anything to me. The containers which held the application, and what they would do is like the beekeepers or whoever was doing the application would have to go through the tunnel and spray them. Those spraying things kept on breaking and we had trouble fixing them. And also, we had to take mortality tests at certain times after the application, so keeping track of those times were stressful, and there was just so much other stuff going on those days. However, for the second application day, which was about a few weeks after that, it was much more smooth because we all know what we were doing, and because of that it went by a lot faster. There were some days where I would do different samplings, including sampling bumblebees, plants in different studies, stuff from different hives, things like that. I also dissected both bumblebees and honeybees for pollen and nectar, and nearly every single day, every single week I should say, I had to make labels for different studies, so it literally was putting labels on vials. It was a good way to pass the time though, especially the day. Lastly, there were a few days during my internship where I got to go to the lab, which is a few miles away from the main station. I helped with a bioassay, which I don't really know what that means, but basically we made a mixture, put it in containers, and then put, I think it was like inchworms or something like that, on them for some experiment. So every day was usually something different. The only thing I wish I could have known, at least like in a day in advance, was just like what was I doing, because during the day I would have to ask like some people like, what can I do? And like, I guess that's kind of just frustrating because like I like going into each day being like, okay, I have to get this and this done today, and just standing there and asking what can I do. It's not exactly, what you should be doing during the day. I think the hardest part of the internship was just not knowing what I was doing most of the time. I made a lot of mistakes, especially at the beginning, and the thing about scientific research is that you kind of have to be exact about certain things, and it was frustrating to me how I would mess up on a lot of things just because I didn't know what I was doing. I did ask questions, but some of the time people would just not explain to me stuff to me, which made it a lot harder. And another thing is that like I'm someone who likes to know what I'm doing like each day, so kind of like what I explained like before, like every single day I had to ask someone like what am I doing, because like I just had no specific instructions to do stuff. So I guess those were just the hardest parts about the internship. I would say that overall it was a really good experience, especially with just the people that I worked with. Like they were really nice. I learned a lot from every single one of them, even though at times like I could definitely tell that they were really stressed, but I think it was just like a really great experience because of the people that were part of it. I do have to give shout outs to certain people. I won't name them here just for privacy reasons, but if they ever watch this video, I hope they know who they are and know how much I really appreciate them. On my first day of work, I spent most of my day working with this one worker, and right from the beginning, that worker was so nice to me. They were interested in getting to know me as a person, asking me questions about myself and everything. They have also been the best at explaining how to do certain stuff. They were one of the only workers that would take the time to explain not only how to do something, but what they were exactly doing in the study, so I could understand the whole background of it, because knowing why is really important. They made work such a fun place to be, and I loved getting to work alongside them. So thank you so much for all that you told me, and I will definitely be asking you for a recommendation letter one day. It's kind of like an inside joke between us, but in all seriousness, I would love for you to write one for me. Also, another shout out goes to another one of the workers who also within that first week of the internship taught me a lot about bees and was always so kind to me. And lastly, another shout out goes out to all the other interns. I had so much fun working with all of you. We all got along so well together, and it was so great to spend time with each and every one of you. I wish you all the best of luck in your college careers and for your futures. I think that what I will take away from this internship, and this is something that I mentioned in one of my most recent vlogs, was that God puts certain people into your life at the right moment. At the beginning of this internship, I questioned God as to why He was having me do something that was completely out of my comfort zone and something that I didn't want to do in the future, but He put so many amazing people into my life through this internship that I will be forever grateful for. I have learned so much this summer, and it has been a challenging yet rewarding experience. So thank you to everyone who was a part of it, and I will be thinking of you always. Also, one last thing to say is that you should always wear a veil when working with bees, because bee stings hurt, and they really hurt. I may be moderately allergic to bees now, just because for the past few times that I have gotten stung, I've had severe swelling. I would have to get stung like at least like a million more times in order to get immune to them. So thank you for watching. Please like this video, please comment down below, and please subscribe to our channel if you have not already.